Hi guys, Ryu here from Blender Bros and welcome to a bonus video in which we're gonna be talking about two things, okay? One of them is gonna be adding details to your work and the other one's gonna be Decal Machine, and we're gonna be actually using Decal Machine to add details to this bot. Now oftentimes I see renders with models that have just either random details or overload of details or details placed in places where they shouldn't be placed. It's just a cacophony of shapes basically. So I wanted to create a video to actually kind of show you guys how my brain works and what I think when I'm placing details, on a model. Okay. So let's go to look dev view because we want to see the maths. It's gonna be a little bit easier to do it this way, okay? I'm using the same HDRI as we were using before, so the abandoned slipway. Now the best way of thinking of placing details is to think in terms of clusters, okay? And sort of empty spaces that lead you from to, so from area of details to an area of details. Like for example here, on this piece, we could add some trim sheets because it's a bit naked, yeah. It's a bit too hippie, so we can actually grab that and do something with it. We can alt-click, for example, this strip of faces here. We can go to D in edit mode, and we're gonna have these trim sheets. Now these are trim sheets from Blender Bros. I think the first 6 is from the course A to Z, environment design with trim sheets, and then you have trim sheet 7, 8, 9 from the paneling pack, and the rest of the trim sheets are from Blender Bros membership. So you can also get them, I think all of them or almost all of them in a pack, in a trim sheet pack or a bundle with decals, because we also have a decal bundle. Let's grab some trim sheets, let's say, I don't know, trim sheet 11 maybe, and let's see what we're gonna get. Now the way you work with Decal Machine, when you have nothing really on, no trim sheets on your mesh, you press D and then you go to your trim sheets and you alt click on whichever bit you wanna drop on your mesh, and you can see it's gonna appear here. And then what you can do, right, let's just zoom in closer, you can hold control, you can scroll through different types of trims on that trim sheet, and if you find something cool you can just keep it, and if you don't you can just keep looking. This one isn't actually bad. This one is pretty cool. From a distance will create a really nice separation and sort of cool detail. We could add something here, so let's hold shift and alt and select these bits here, and let's just add another trim sheet. And since I have already trim sheet running on that mesh, what I need to do is just simply click. Okay, so I select a trim sheet I want to choose, and I just simply click. All right, yeah, that looks good. That's actually pretty cool, and that will do me. Okay, that's enough. Now you see that if I wanted to, if I was to add details all over this element, it would be just simply too much. Okay, so don't do too much. Okay, too little is better than too much. Okay, so bear that in mind. Like for example here, on these notches here, whatever it is, clips, add something, for example, somewhere here on the bottom, okay, to sort of cluster these details around this bevel and leave this beautiful empty space leading to the top. Okay, so I'll just put something in here. So let's select that, go to our decals, and now you can see we have all these lovely decal packs from membership. So if you're our member, you should have access to all these decals. So we could just grab some of them, maybe from one of the most recent packs. This one could do actually, or this one, which is gonna pop on April, which means that if you're watching this course, this pack is already out on our membership, because I'm recording this in March, so it's not out yet. So we could grab, for example, this one is pretty cool. Right, so we could make this smaller, and you see the advantage of decals, right, is that you can make them really tiny and then create incredible detail on your model. So select both of them, press D and alt click on project, move your mouse and click, and it's gonna get applied. All right, and then we're going to grab these two, right, and we're going to move them. So let's go to edit mode, A to select everything, Shift D, Y, and let's move them in here. Now, decals are parented to an object you drop them on. So in this case, these decals will be parented to the left object, but since it's mirrored, you know, we're good to go. Then we can double click that. Okay, so we select everything, shift click here, Alt X, and we're gonna mirror this to the other side. Check if everything is fine. Everything is peachy. Great. Now you see what happens is that this decal, these decals here create like a visual anchor. You can barely see that, but you can see that, all right? And that's the whole point of detailing, you know. You don't want to overdo this. You want to be kind of subtle, okay? Here in the bottom, I want to create some kind of a separation here too with a trim sheet. So I'm going to run some kind of a trim sheet here in the bottom. So press D and we can go with trim sheet 8. So let's just, you know, alt click one of these. And there you go. That actually is pretty cool. I think I like that. It's pretty cool. And then we can drop some cool stickers on it. So we can go to our info decal pack. And for example, we could use the not Ufra, was Oxel, right? Oxel Kinetics. And decal, not too big, somewhere here in the center. We can go to, you know, orthographic view in the front and sort of move it, you know, more or less to the middle here. And then, you know, project it, right? And you can change color of it, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to, in fact, let's just adjust it a bit. So move it a little bit outside. There we go. So there's no Z fighting on this. And we can change color of it, so we can expand this panel here. And with the decal selected, we will increase the subsurface to 1, change the this saturation to 0, and let's make it darker. So it's gonna be, you know, cool like that. All right, awesome. And here we can pop something else. So we could, for example, go for something like hot surface, which is cool. Let's make it smaller. Now you can think that, you know, where you want to put it. You could put it in here, you could put it somewhere here. I think here it's going to be a bit better. So like kind of align with this bottom part. Let's leave a bit of a space here. Beautiful space here, you know, like I said, don't overdo it, right? Don't overdo it. Okay, you need to be subtle, okay? So let's just, there we go, that's beautiful, okay? See that? It just pops, you know, it just pops, looks really cool. Now here we could have some notches as well, definitely. I don't even know if there's a bevel in here on this one. I think there is. Yeah, there is a bevel, so we're good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create some notches here on this side. So let's go here and maybe let's grab something different like this, right? And let's make it smaller, and we're going to rotate this, okay? So it's gonna sort of follow, just adjust it and hold Control and Shift, or just Shift to rotate it to an angle. Make it smaller because you don't want it to be too big, right? And then we can do is Shift D that and hold Control and drop it somewhere here maybe, right? And then select them both. This one should be somewhere lower, a little bit lower here. Select both of them, okay? And D, Alt, Project, boom, and then click on the main mesh and mirror. Alright, and then on top of this, what you can do, you can actually change the color of it. So you could go to Match, and you could shift it to black, which is going to really offset these. And they sort of lead your eye down here, and then up here to Oxel. And then we also need something here on the top. Maybe here in this area, you know, something here maybe. Let's just drop something here and select that. Alright, so let's go to trim sheet 9 and let's alt click that. In fact, no, I think we already added a trim sheet here, so we just click on it, right? We just click on that. There we go, that's better. Let's go through this trim sheet. That's actually pretty cool. I really like that. That's creates a very nice separation there. You see that? That's really awesome. Sweet. Now here we could have some bolts or some, you know, screws or whatnot. So let's see what we can add here. We could make sure to use one of these, kind of like, you know, small bolts or whatnot. So put one here, you know, one here. You don't want to be sort of too symmetrical with this, because that's usually a bad idea. You want to be, you know, more or less random-ish, all right? And don't overdo it, okay? I think here it could be some kind of a name instead of a screw, all right? So you see these are parented to this main shape, but it's okay because the arm's gonna move together anyway, so you can just, you know, apply this and copy. Now, I could change these screws to darker color, but I think they have a lot of there's a lot of shadow going on them. See, there's a lot of contrast. So I don't think they need more of a pop. It's enough. If I'm gonna make them dark, they're gonna be really strong. They might be actually too strong. So I'll leave them alone. Here too, we need something definitely. I don't know yet what. So let's press D. Let's go to trim sheet 10 and I'll click that and let's see what we can get here. Oh, that's not bad actually, out of the bat. Let me see that. No, that's a little bit strong. See that? If you look at these shadows here, like they're really pulling a lot of attention. It's because it's circular, it's gonna be very strong shape. So this, it's dark and it's also with a lot of contrast. I think that's actually too strong. So I'm going to change that to something else, alright? So hold Control and see what we can get here. Something a bit more subtle, you know, be better. This is also pretty cool, but this is so strong. This is just too much. Unless what we can do is let's just unwrap it to empty to remove that, and we could just, you know, sort of drop a narrower bit here like that. Maybe this is gonna be better. Okay, so let's just alt click that. Yeah, it's still strong as hell. Maybe different trim sheet. Let's see. Maybe trim sheet 8 is gonna be a bit more subtle. That's not terrible. That's actually pretty cool. I could live with this. This is actually subtle enough to work. So we could do the same thing here, you know, just to drop a loop, drop another loop. Now, trim sheeting takes time, but you need to be patient because it's worth it, okay? And you really need to, you know, take your time with this because remember, you are going to be rendering, right, this only once, okay? So, you know, make sure you're gonna do a good job, all right? So now these three are uniform, which is important. Cables, I'll show you a very cool trick with a cable. So with this selected, what we can do is go to trim sheet, let's say 12. And with that alt, you just simply click and it's going to apply a trim sheet to everything. And when you scroll your mouse, you might be able to get some really cool shapes. It depends on your, you know, on your trim sheet, okay? So keep trying to find something interesting like this, for example. Boom. I mean, how cool is that, right? So really easy, easily done. And it's going to create a subtle kind of a, you know, texture on this cable. Then you can enhance it because you can run something in the middle, right? Because it's a trim sheet, so you can just, you know, go with this and just click and create something like this here, which is going to create additional level of interest on that cable, which I think is pretty bloody cool. So you can keep designing them, you know, just you can do whatever the hell you want with them, really. Just remember that trim sheets will increase the memory usage, so be careful. Here too, we could have something on the bottom, something here, you know, in this area. So D, and let's just out click that and see how this looks. That looks pretty cool actually. I like that. Actually it's a bit too strong. Let's keep looking for something different. Okay, so that is not bad actually. That would work. Yeah, it's fine. Here we could have some other stickers. So let's say, I don't know, we could have some serial number or, you know, whatnot, or caution, right? Caution sticker. You know, something like this. It's gonna be actually quite strong. Let's find something different. Power core. Oh, that's cool. This is like a, you know, sort of serial number. No, normally I would place it, you see, you could place it here or here. It's actually quite hard to decide. I think I prefer it here, make it smaller and kind of offset it a little bit so it's not in the middle, and then project it, and then we can actually leave it like this, or we could just go to alpha slider and sort of hold shift and reduce the opacity of it again and blend it in a bit so it doesn't stand out. This is not an issue I see with a lot of renders when you know, people put they drop like a super white decals, you know, like this, right, on a design, and it just pulls so much bloody attention because of contrast. Guys, don't do that. Always go to alpha channel and just drop it down a bit, okay? You know, just don't go nuts, yeah? It's supposed to be a detail, not your main actor, alright? These are fillers. Remember that, again, fillers, not the main feature, okay? So it's kind of like a dessert. If you eat too much of it, you're gonna have a, you know, heartburn, right? So let's just do it here. Just click on something, maybe trim sheet 9. Actually, that will do me. It's fine, and it's enough. Here we could have some sticker too on that. You know, we could have some sticker here on the top as well. So let's see what we have here. Maybe we can find something cool. Oh, these could be actually interesting. We have place to put them? Not really. Let's keep looking. Oh, this could work, you know, for example, on one of them, right? Just drop something like this here on the bottom and project it, and then, you know, drop the opacity again. So alpha and just drop it, yeah. Don't make it too obvious. It's there, you can see that, so your eyes will subconsciously notice it without, you know, going bonkers, right? Maybe you could have something here on the end. Maybe that's gonna work. Let's see what we could put there. Something like this could work here. On the end, you know. Project it, and there you go. So there's something pulling the attention in the back. And then on the feet, we could actually apply the same one. Now you need to work with the main shape, not with the clones, because that's how it's gonna work. Because anything you put on this is gonna be reflected on the main shape. So adjust it here, and let's just scale this, and, you know, project it, and then copy this across. So we're probably gonna have to do this on every single one of them, which is fine. So let's just go back before we apply that so we can easily clone this. So Shift D and clone it in here, and then Shift D and clone it in here, and Shift D and clone it, you know, in here, right, somewhere. So they kind of match in size, alright? So, you know, select that and project, and then select here, move it somewhere here, and, you know, project. You're gonna get Pythons because these are not really geometries. There's you know, instances, and you cannot really copy that. So we're gonna just leave it like that, but I'm gonna copy this one, okay? So we're gonna be, you know, rendering from this angle, so you don't really need this side. So remember that if you're rendering from one angle, you don't need to really worry too much about, you know, all the sides. Here too, I really want something. So this one actually could be interesting. So let's try that one more time with Alt. There we go. Let me see that. Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah, that's awesome. See, it's like a mechanical sort of vibe there. We could have something here too, sort of kind of barely sticking out. So we could have another one here, something really subtle, okay? Let's see, something like this even, okay? Just a little bit of a hint of something, right? This one could have some notches as well. So let's think what we can do. Maybe some bolts, you know, or or something like this. This could be interesting. Let me just select that one more time and drop it. There we go, that's better. And then we can we mirror this to the other side? I think we can, so let's try this. So let's apply this and then shift select that and hold shift and mirror to this side, and then we're gonna select this one, Alt X, press A to add another mirror and mirror to the other side. So we have two mirrors going on. That looks really cool. Okay, that looks really cool. It's quite strong, but it's okay. I know that's okay. Here we could have some warning stickers on the bottom as well. So we could have some stuff like, you know, something like this maybe, you know, just here on the bottom, just for fun. And of course we could drop the alpha here to something barely visible, because it's about you know, it's about an anchor. Shift S and move cursor to select it, so it's actually in the middle here, and I'll show you a cool trick. So here I'm gonna drop like a, maybe this one is good, like a bolt and something. And then we're going to press Q and mesh tools and control click on the radial array. Press X and X one more time. And this is going to array this around this shape like that. Okay, and I'm gonna select that, Shift X, Alt X, sorry, and copy to the other side. Double click D, and we're going to match it like that. So it's visible, but barely. Okay, it just brings and connects these two surfaces to the top. So you need to be really subtle with your decals. Okay, don't be vulgar with them, be subtle. That's the trick, right? See that we've added just a few of them, but if I'm gonna remove them, right, you'll see, you know, there's a massive difference, especially in the render. So here we're missing something. Okay, this could be something in here. I don't know, maybe some tiny notches in here. Maybe this one, you know, 450, like a badge here, and then D, adjust, hold shift and control and make it smaller, and then just pop it. And we're gonna change the color to black. All right. When you want to mirror a text to the other side, okay, so when you want to mirror a text to the other side, it's gonna come out reversed. Okay, so what you need to do, right, see that? You need to flip the mirror. You can do this with decal machine or mesh machine, but I can't be bothered. I always do it here. So go to data and simply mirror you, and it's gonna flip it back to its correct orientation, right? So when you flip text, either apply another decal or simply make sure that you fix it. Now these buggers here on the bottom, they could be actually silver. You know, I'm kind of thinking maybe it's gonna be better. Oh shit, no, definitely not better. But yeah, we could add something here. You know, something. You know what I mean? So maybe I'm gonna scale that one more time. Grab this one and sort of insert it in. So I'm gonna have this kind of a ridge going on. I'm missing something over there, you know, a bit of a highlight. In addition to this one, just press dot on your period, you know, numpad. We could sort of scale this, so we could insert it like that, right? Just go to local view, and when you go into Control plus this and select boundary loops, you're gonna select these two boundary loops outside. Let me just hide the bevel for a second. Okay, see that one and that one, and when you dissolve them, you're gonna come up with a taper, which is pretty cool. So it's gonna be a little bit deeper in terms of how it reads, because there's just a deeper shadow. See, now it reads better. In terms of lighting falling on it, you get some kind of separation here. Now what I'm thinking is that the wheels could have something going on them, you know. Maybe just insert it a little bit, so make it less insane. And grab maybe this one. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. This one is interesting as well. So, you know, the wheels ain't gonna be so boring, right? There's gonna be something going on the wheels as well. which is cool. Here on the top, you could have some decals as well, but again, you know, you need to go across the whole shape, but you could put some kind of like notches or whatever, you know, some kind of buttons or some screws on top or whatnot, like this, for instance, you know, or this could actually go well with the whole theme, and we could put it in here and you know, somewhere here, right? But you will need to drop it across the whole model again, so you know, all over the place, or simply rotate them. Okay, so we could do is drop a cursor to the middle, so Shift S and to origin, select these two, right? Select these two, go to the top view, and then switch here, pivot to cursor, Shift the R, hold Control, and move it in here, Shift the R, move it here, and Shift the R, and move it in here. Because, you know, they were using the same rotation, basically, so you can kind of cheat a bit. Right, select them both, project, and it should work, but it will not work on these, which is fine. But they're gonna, you know, add additional interest here on the top, you see, which is really important. Okay, let's just grab that floor, and also let's save that because reasons. And let's just go here and enable the floor. And you know, I'm gonna create the same render that I created before. I will not change anything, and I want you to see the difference. I think our HDRI is gone, so let's just edit and shader editor and object, and go here, and it was abandoned slipway, wasn't it? So HDRI and slipway, boom. You can also try to use higher quality HDRI. You know, I mean, it's gonna extend the time of rendering, but 8K usually has a better light quality. But you know, it's up to you what you're gonna use. I mean, it's up to your machine really. If you can handle it, use some better quality stuff. You know, usually there's a bit of a difference. Cool. Now this one is without any background, and you can clearly see, you know, these details right now just kind of, you know, popping all over the place. It just makes a whole you know, a lot difference. It's undisputable. Let me just minimize it here because you can see. Save as, and we're gonna call it decal 1, and then we're gonna render this with a background. So enable background in render, and render image one more time. I'm gonna bring it to Photoshop, and I'm gonna show you how to edit this with add-ons. So I'm gonna be using plugins for Photoshop, like Infinite Color and all that. So it's gonna be fine. See that? It just makes it look more realistic because of these little details. The devil is in details, guys. That's, you know, that's old truth. Cool. So that's an image. Now the compositor gonna kick in, clean it up, perfect. And you know, it will take a bit longer if you're gonna use a higher definition HDRI. So like I said, use it at your own discretion. I will disable this abandoned slipway here, but I will pack the decals for you so you can have a look. All right, so external data, and you need to go here. Let me just collapse this, right? You need to go here to external data, and you see pack resources, and you will see pack 94 files, which is, that's how many decals we have in this file now. Okay, and then I'm gonna save this. In the next video, we're gonna hop into Photoshop, and I'll show you how I edit it with add-ons and plugins. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.